Howdy y'all, welcome back. Thank you for being here. From the perspective of an outsider viewing our historical timeline, the monumental architecture which shapes the most important locations on Earth may be a point of contention. Before the 19th century, our grand architects are said to have utilized little more than the simplest of tools to create some of the most splendid and complicated architectural forms in history. From massive castles situated on high cliffs, to legendary forms of lengthy, defensive fortification that could be found as the boundary between ancient kingdoms, to reinforced foundations appearing in almost every major city. For the inquisitive minds of modernity, the ingenuity of the old world goes without question. Yet explaining the ingenuity is where it truly appears we begin to see difficulties. With most early cities being situated on coastlines and at major connecting points of large bodies of water, it comes as no surprise that the earliest kings, chiefs, and leaders of these regions were said to have built their castles and towns on elevated locations. Yet herein lies the problem, as we can very simply pose the question: how did they construct, for example, castles and other fortified structures in these precarious locations, like onto and into mountainsides, before the Industrial Revolution? Again, we have numerous instances of monumental structures having a narrative that doesn't exactly explain how they took shape, and the explanations in the mainstream today are often conflicting. Many times structures are destroyed and rebuilt throughout time, the same with cities, adding plausible deniability to the narrative. While most of the written history, as far as construction goes, appears to be little more than a theory, something the mainstream often doesn't do is leave an openness for the mysterious. Everything has an explanation, or at least an educated guess that's been accepted by academia, even if the reasoning and logic don't always make the most sense. For history as we know it is his story, the written account of the victors, and sometimes the survivors. And history often is told from the perspective of defining what has not been defined before. Therefore, history can be seen as a series of explanations, some more logical than others, but today most histories are written to be conclusive, without much room for debate or to discredit the narrative. Yet today, that is exactly what we are looking to do, if only to entertain different perspectives as we look through these photographs that might just change your opinion of history. The collection of images numbers to about 175 photographs taken between the years of 1839, at the beginning of the photographic history of our realm, and continuing through 1939, around the outbreak of World War II. However, the bulk of the photographs in our collection today are from the 19th century, with our main focus being on the architecture, the anomalies, and the people that coalesced into what our perception of the old world has become. 20 years ago, nearly no one had any examples to show us of the kingdom called Tartaria. 10 years ago, almost no one knew of the vast system of underground tunnels that have been proven to exist beneath a number of major cities. And just a few minutes ago, you might not have known that any of these incredible photographs existed. Just imagine what we will discover tomorrow. Every photograph today will be the full image, no panning or scanning, besides one image that I had to show you more details of the castle. You'll be able to see the full extent of the architecture, and hopefully this makes it easier for you to save these images to your own collections. These photographs will be from a multitude of different sources, museums and forums mostly, showcasing an assortment of kingdoms and countries. We will also take time to look at photographs of antiquitech or ancient technology and images related to Tartary. The great basis of society could be seen in our cities, and the great cities have their basis in the ancient infrastructure, the same infrastructure that appears to tie together most of the buildings. As above, so below. But how was it all built? Architecture so strong, it's still being utilized hundreds of years later. And with the old world, also comes photographs of underground tunnels, the new modes of transportation, new technology, as well as an assortment of earthworks and effigies that were being replaced by new structures. All we see are city walls and mausoleums, these castles, these infinitely unique architectural forms that began to shape the largest cities. We will look at all that today and more, so stay tuned. And leave any thoughts or ideas you have in the comments down below. Please let me know which photograph stood out to you the most, and don't forget to share this video to try to continue to get the idea out there that the old world was much more sophisticated and vastly more designed for harmony than most of the new construction that we see today. And all of this in the old world, for the most part, was said to have been built by hand.